You should have been there when Godfrey saw his father die. His father received no counseling. His father received no home-based care treatment, and he received no medication. This was in 2003. Godfrey was 10 years by then. Did he know why his father died? No. You should have been there when 2 years later, Godfrey finds himself that he had to take care of his sick mother, who eventually died in 2005. Think of the stress Godfrey got. Likewise, his mother never got antiretroviral therapy by then in Tanzania, and she never got any counseling. Again, did Godfrey know why his mother died? The answer is no. You should have been in his shoes. Godfrey started feeling sick in 2006, and in 2007, my organization identified him, and we tested him, and he tested HIV positive. We put him on therapy, antiretroviral therapy, and you should have seen him when he got his results. Did he accept? It was a big struggle, because at his age, why should I get HIV? So he struggled with medication and went on with primary school, and later we took him to a secondary school. Godfrey became stigmatized by his fellow students and the teachers, except his class teacher. You should have seen him being stigmatized. Did he take his medication? No. He packed his medicine, but due to stigma and discrimination, he often forgot to adhere to medication. So he lost hope. He couldn't go on with education. You should have seen him drop out of school. He died in 2007 when he was in his second year of secondary school. So what is the story? Godfrey left behind a legacy. He was a symbol of innocence because he got the infection from his mother. He had to care for his sick mother, and this is many children in Tanzania who have to care for their sick parents at the same time they have to go to school. He had his right to education, his right to medication. He was a victim of stigma and discrimination. However, his story lives on. He should not have died. We should all have been there to rescue him because health matters. Thank you.
Well, hello everyone. I'm going to tell you a story as well. My story is about the boy who fell out of a tree. And I'm going to tell you right at the start, don't worry, there's a happy ending. You happy about that? I'm glad. Now, there is a silly Scottish doctor in this story. We'll just call him Dr. Iain, okay? And Dr. Iain had gone to Sierra Leone. You've probably heard of Sierra Leone. It's in the news. And this only happened this year in March. So Dr. Iain was in the clinic in Sierra Leone, and a mother rushed in with her boy, the boy who fell out of the tree. And Dr. Iain thought that he was good at diagnosing things and good at treating things. So he said to the mother, "What happened?" And the mother didn't speak English. So the mother told her friend, who spoke her language, and her friend told my translator, who spoke the friend's language and my language, and the translator told me that the boy had fallen out of a tree. And sure enough, I checked his arm, floppy. I checked his other arm, floppy. I checked his leg. Everything was floppy. I checked his neck, his head, floppy. I immediately thought, he's broken his neck. I shouted for help. And thankfully, a very experienced nurse came along. And he said, we will do a blood test. And I said, no, he doesn't need blood test. Dr. Iain said that, by the way. I said, he doesn't need blood test. He needs surgery, quick. We need to do something. He's broken his neck. He's fallen out of a tree. And the nurse said to the mother, we can help him, but it will cost some money. And the mother, her eyes started tearing up. She said, I have no money. And the nurse said to the mother, okay, you tell this doctor why you have no money, and I will do a blood test, and then we will treat your son. And Dr. Iain was confused. What is going on here? So Dr. Iain listened to the story. It all started 3 weeks ago when he got very sick. He had a high temperature, he was being sick. The mother said she thought it was malaria. So, what did she do? She took her son to the village chief. The village chief said, take him to the elder women in the village. They know what to do. So she paid some money to the elder women, and they gave him some tea, special tea made of mango leaves, guava bark, and Christmas tree leaves. And it didn't work. So then she went to the witch doctor and paid the witch doctor some money. And he made a special parcel of leaves and bark. And he tied it 3 times with string because it was a boy child. And he boiled that special parcel in some boiling water for just the right time. And then he tied it to her child's stomach. But it didn't work. And then she said, I know, I will go to the drug peddler, the medicine stall in the village. And she paid more money to get some medicine for malaria. But when she went home, she saw the tablets were 10 years out of date. So she went back and paid more money to get more medicine for malaria. And then what happened? She took it back, and her friend said, I got the same medicine last week for diarrhea. That's not going to treat malaria. The poor mother, the boy was getting sicker and sicker. So she walked for one afternoon to get to the nearest clinic. And when she got there, what happened? They had run out of malaria treatment. No treatment left. So that's when she set off for the hospital. And she walked for more than 2 days with her child. And I said, so when did this boy fall out of the tree? And she said, well, he fell down under a tree. I was ashamed to tell you I've wasted all my money. Please, can you help? And the nurse came back and said, he has got a hemoglobin of 3 and he has malaria. We will treat him. And he was admitted and he got a transfusion of the mother's blood and he got malaria treatment and he was made well. But this is the story about the boy who fell out of the tree and the difficulties that people have in these countries to get the right treatment as quickly as possible. Thank you.
We're now taking you on a plane, and that plane is going to take you to Kathmandu, the capital of Nepal, the roof of the world, where 8 out of the 10 highest mountains are. You're then going to get into a Land Rover, and you're going to travel for about 14 hours in this Land Rover. And we're going to join the story as we cross over a river. Actually, it's in July, so the river is in spate because it's the monsoon. And we're just climbing out of the Land Rover at the other side. And this is from some time in the past when I had more hair than I have now.
Neil gets back into the Land Rover to visit the government health post on the other side of the river, where early cases of leprosy and TB are found. INF works through such health posts.
The first step for patients who develop a cough or perhaps a patch on their skin that may turn out to be leprosy, they would come to health posts such as this one. INF assists in the running of TB and leprosy clinics in over 90 such health posts across the region. And although patients here today will have many different complaints, almost certainly one or two of them may be here because of a troublesome cough, perhaps with blood in it, that may turn out to be infectious tuberculosis.
Infectious TB is a feared and deadly disease in Nepal. Dr. Hamlet is here examining a patient who is literally being eaten up by TB in the INF clinic in Nepalganj. TB claims new victims every day, but what exactly is TB?
You can see he's breathless. That's because the tuberculosis is in his lungs. More than 80% of tuberculosis occurs in the lungs, and that is the infectious type. So this man, when he coughs, is coughing up infectious tuberculosis for other people to breathe in and to become infected. So obviously everyone in his house is at risk, and everyone in the community around him is at risk. And so in crowded situations, such as in Nepalganj, where there's a lot of people, poor housing, small windows, you will find that the transmission of tuberculosis is very high. Unfortunately, this story doesn't have a happy ending. This man did in fact die 2 days after that film was made for some European television company. Tuberculosis is a major killer. It has been for centuries. I'm going to introduce you to a number of people through today, and I want these images to burn into your retinas, because we'll return to their stories later. But you'll notice that there's a mother, there's a child, and there's a father, and there's a child. And their stories will come out as the day progresses. This is the body of a man that would probably be the age of your older brother, if you've got an older brother. He's about 19, or was about 19. He lived very near to treatment facilities for tuberculosis. He lived very near to the centre that we ran, which was an area of expertise. But yet he left it too late. So even knowing that there was a clinic there, knowing that there was treatment available, this man came by the time he was coughing up blood, and he died overnight. And the only service we could give this young man was to take his body to the river for burial. 3 very poignant stories which we'll unwrap as the day goes on. Thank you.